we were doing here was, this was the URL, and we were sending into one URL that parameters, etc. But this is not the correct way when you work with REST issue. So let's see how we can do this. Copy this. Okay. We will comment both these tests because we don't want them to be executed. So I comment the test ng annotation. Okay. And what is this test for? In this test, I would be showing how to use parameters with REST assured. Okay. And test name would be 3. So here we will be keeping only the URI part, not the parameters part. We want to send a GET request. Before that, we want to specify it parameters. When we want to send a GET request, we want to set a GET request which is given whose parameters are. So we will be using this param. Okay. So here we will specify this GET request that given these are the parameters when you want to send this GET request. Okay, so what are the parameters? So the first parameter is Q. Q defines the city. Suppose the city is London. The next parameter is, what is the next parameter? The next parameter is the app ID which we want to send for the authorization. So the next parameter is app ID, and its value is this. It's so easy with working with REST assured. It's a plain English. Given whose parameters are this, the second parameter are this, when I'm sending this as a GET request. Assured is very easy when we want to automate with this library. Now let's run this. So it should be successful. Let's see. Yes, it is successful, and we are getting a response as 200. Okay, you can work more with that also. Okay, so you can write if, okay, if response dot get status code is equal to 200, system.out.println API is working fine, else API is not working fine. So here you can get the negative case if the API does not gives 200, and you can work on it. Simple if and else statement. API is working fine because the response code was 200. Let me comment this. Let me write a for test here in which we'll be using assert, or we will be asserting our test case in REST assured API. Actually, I'm telling you all the modes which people are working these REST assured APIs in automating their test cases. Here we are getting the response and we are checking its response code is 200 or not. Normally, when we are working with not much big APIs, people are checking in their statement only. I will tell you how. Let me copy this. test case is 4. Okay, I will delete this everything. I will delete also because I won't be taking here response. I will be checking here only that if it's right or wrong, if this API is right or wrong. After the get, what I'm saying here, given these are the parameters, when I send this request, what I want to do? I want to, sorry, then what I want to do, then assert, then I want to check, what I want to check, that status code is 200. See how the English flows. When these are the given parameters, when I send this get request, then I want to assert or verify that the status code is 200. Okay, let's execute this. Comment the above test. Okay, it is commented, and let me give the @test annotation here as well and execute. It's worked fine. It has passed. Now let's say if I give assert 201 and I save this and I run this. It is failed. It is saying that the expected is 201 while the actual which we received was 200. So that's why it is failing. So if you want to a smoke test, what I mean by a smoke test is that suppose the development is done, the APIs are developed and everything is working fine. Whenever a build is released for the testing, for this, let's say for the manual testing, we want to make sure that all the APIs are working fine. Suppose I'm checking the app UI and I'm clicking on button and it is not being clicked or I'm not getting the data. I marked a defect with the development team. Development team then looks into it and verifies these are commits the backend API was not working. So a lot of time is wasted. The tester is checking and developer is then again checking. Why not execute these APIs, develop an automation script and execute these APIs for 1-2 minutes and verify with the status code 200 that all the APIs are working fine. While receiving a build for the testing, we can just run a smoke suit to verify the APIs are working or not. If the APIs are not working, then there is no use of the testing of that functionality. Suppose if login API is not giving a 200 response code, then why it's the use for the testing unnecessary? And this automation script which is developed with the API having 100 or 200 APIs, this the suit you develop will take hardly 2 or 3 minutes. The API execution is very fast. That's the real power of API testing comes. It comes first level is the smoke suit.